format. I think this is working now. The Facebook threw me a little curveball this morning. Getting a comfy place to sit, ready. Start seated, get grounded, check in with your body, your breath, your emotions. You can sit on a blanket, a block, pillow, something that creates a little lift in the pelvis so that your knees can come down lower than your hip sockets. And sometimes that helps. If you need to stretch your legs out in front of you, do that. If you want, you can kneel and put some cushions under your hips too. So take a few breaths, find your seated posture, and let's get moving. So when we come into this seated posture to start our practice, yoga is a way to move the body, but it's a way to settle and move the body mindfully, thinking about why we move the body the way we do. And it kind of comes up in answers as you practice. So checking in with that as we practice today. Why do we put our foot this way? Why do we tilt the pelvis this way? How do our shoulders naturally want to be supporting us? So asking ourselves these questions as we move through the practice is a way to incorporate that mindful awareness as we do movement. And then as you do that with yoga, you can take it into your daily life and say, why do I get this way when I drive? Or why do I get this way when I'm doing certain things around the house? So hopefully it will be something you could take into your life with you. Let's bring our hands into our lap, just stacking one on top of the other. Traditionally, men put the right hand on top, women left hand, divine, feminine, or masculine kind of stuff. Checking in with whichever one feels good today. The other thumb goes on top. Breathing in and out. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Shake it out, let it go. Then we're going to breathe and hold and breathe and hold. So square breathing, 4-part breath. Breathing in for 4 counts, whatever that's like for you, and then hold the breath for 4 counts. And exhale, 4, and hold the breath again, 4. So it'll be inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Calling it square breathing is just kind of a visual you can add to your practice. You can imagine the sides of the square as you're practicing. This is something really basic, taking us out of fight or flight breath practice that is used all over the country. First responders, Navy SEALs, practicing breath that gets you out of your physical agitation and into calm. Breathing in one more time. Hold, exhale, and hold. Then beginning to move, taking your hands out to your knees, just sliding side to side. We're going to slide forward and back. So kind of like cat-cow, reach those ribs forward and then roll the ribs back. Back into center, roll the shoulder blades back, squeeze them together, and then roll the shoulder blades apart, drop the chin. One more time, really focus on the shoulder blades. And then come back to center. We're going to move over the lap a little bit. So I'll show you from the side. You can adjust this to fit your body too, whatever works. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, release down. Walk the hands in front. Maybe it's just a little bit. Maybe you fold Down deeper, take a breath right there. Walk it over the right leg. And then back over to the left knee. Come back to center, inhale, lift. Interlace the fingers, press palms up in the air. Lift maybe the chin, stretch, but drop your ribs into place. Create that support in your core. This will come into play through your whole practice. Relax your hip flexors. Let your sits bones connect to the earth as you reach up and away. Exhale, drop that left hand down to the floor. Right arm lifts up and over. Keep the hips equal on the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, other side. Inhale, lift. And come back up. Interlace the fingers. Put the other thumb on top. Stretch the palms up again. One more time. And then exhale, round again. Inhale, lift. Let go of the hands and work into some sort of opening of the chest. Cactus arms, reach your arms back, whatever feels really good and open. And then release. Give yourself a little hug. Inhale back up. And come into all fours. If you use a blanket in your practice under your knees, now is the time to put that down on your mat. Otherwise, you can set it off to the side for later. Tuck your knees, feet, hands, and then push away. Lift up and out of the hands and the feet so that you're feeling engaged. Knuckles, core, and then start to slide the hips and ribs side to side. Come up and over to a kneeling plank, and then hold the kneeling plank, lift. Notice if you're kind of dumping into the arms, or if you can push and engage up through the shoulder girdle. And we're going to let ourselves down, but use your arm muscles. Little tricep lowering down to the floor. Tuck the pelvis to neutral, engage through the belly, and then we're going to lift with the upper back muscles. Lower back down, and come back through, kneeling plank to a closed knee child's pose. Inhale up and over, let yourself down again, strong arms. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you lift, like you're zipping up from your belly to your chin, and then exhale, press back. Come up and over again. And squeeze it back up and over. Come to child's pose. Take the knees wide as the mat and then walk the hands forward. Your head can be on a block or a blanket, and your hips can be up in the air if that feels better on your knees. Taking your arms behind so you can have a dish towel or something to hold in your hands together. Maybe you have a yoga strap at home. Otherwise, we're going to interlace the fingers. Reach, lift, open through the heart. Big breath. And then exhale, release. Walk the hands over to the right, off of your mat, and sink the hips back and away from the hands. If you want more of a stretch, that top arm comes over the other one. So in this one, it'll be my left hand over my right. Inhale, walk it through center. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, back through center. And bring the elbows down. Reach your hands together behind your head. And release the arms back down. Lift, top, tabletop. We're going to come up to a high knee. So lifting up all the way, tucking your toes under. And we're going to inhale, lift the arms overhead, trying to squeeze those hips in line with the ribs and shoulders. Exhale, cactus arms, open the heart. Sort of prepping for camel pose. Just feel that heart opening, chest lifting. Inhale, back up. This time take the hands back around behind you, maybe right onto your sacrum, flat hands or fists on your SI joint. We're still keeping the hips forward for this one. Open the heart. Maybe lift the chin slightly. Breathing into this stretch. If you have a more advanced practice for camel, protect your back and go into that variety. And reach your hands back to your heels, but keep that alignment in your bones. Inhale, release. We're going to sit back down onto our heels for screaming toes posture, if you'd like. If not, you can do the arm part without the screaming toes. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, right arm under left. And then wrap them around again. Option to just do the hug or something else that works better on your shoulders. As we squeeze this big back opener, so we're opening between the shoulder blades, our elbows lift up, even with the shoulders. Draw the belly in with the ribs. Big breath. Taking those eagle arms, Tadasana. Arms inhale, lift, open up, and swing the other arm underneath. Left arm under, wrap it around. Same stretch, just slight variation. Feeling the toes, squeeze all that old blood flow out, squeezing the muscles and the tendons. Inhale, lift, take the heart open one more time, and then exhale, come around and tap the toes out. Maybe shake the calves, wiggle the feet and ankles, maybe shake your head. And then we're going to come into a calf stretch. So tabletop, right foot goes back, push through the heel. Feel the stretch down your calves. If you'd like to shift which part of the calves you're stretching, bend the knee slightly. That should go down into your Achilles kind of part of your calves, soleus. And then straight is going to be up higher in the big belly part of your calves, your gastrocnemius. So you can shift and change your calf stretch. Play around with that. One more breath. Lift. Come into spinal balance, your right leg, left arm. Draw in through your ribs and your core. If you'd like, you can reach for that foot. Push the foot into the hand or stay where we were in spinal balance. And release, take that foot out to the side. Point the toes forward, kind of even with your hips. Then we're going to just play around with that. Rock it back and forth or hold. You can walk your hands over towards that foot. One more breath. Waking up the hip sockets. Come back to center and switch. Left leg goes back. Touch the toe down, push through the heel. Feel that stretch, bending the knee or straightening the knee. And come up and over, lift, spinal balance. Feel that length from the top of the head all the way to the tailbone and even down through the heel. If you'd like, reach for the ankle or hold that spinal balance. And release. Take the right hand down. Extend that left leg out to the side. Same thing as the other one. Kind of play around with your hip socket, stretching and moving. Center and take one more child's pose. So just hanging out there for a breath. Just make sure there's no questions. You can always post questions later if you're watching this and I post it and you're playing along later. Go ahead and post the questions and we'll try to get back in and answer them. Coming into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, spread your fingers wide. As you lift, push the weight back, bending one knee at a time. Take your feet out wide as the mat. Shift side to side. Bend, straighten. Walk it back in. Hip width, drop the head. Shake it out. So there's a deep bend at the hip sockets in our downward dog. Some people, when they're first starting out, have their weight forward. There's like this resistance to go into the hamstring stretch. Your head is up. So try to make adjustments away from the hands. Drop the head and soften through the knees even if you need to. Right leg's gonna go straight up and back. Close the hips. Stretch down that standing leg. And then bend and open. Into a fallen star. Knee comes in. We're going to slide it through, underneath that shoulder, and then bring that left arm up over the right. Back to center. And switch. Left leg comes up. Bend and twist. Fallen star, other side, bring the knee in, slide the foot along the ground, lift right arm up over left. One breath, and then come back to down dog. Playing with the movement between down dog and plank. Inhale up to the toes, round through the back, and then come over on your exhale to your plank. Inhale. Lift through the shoulders, the hips, and then slide it back and drop the heels. 2 more times. Inhale, move. Exhale, hold. Inhale, move. Exhale, hold. One more, up and over. Noticing your alignment. Can you open through the chest? Can you move with awareness and mindfulness? Bringing your right foot up between the hands and drop that back knee. We're going to slide back and forth, toes behind towards you, and then up and over, stretch. Maybe wiggle your toes out a little bit and then put them down nice and wide on your mat. Back. Come forward. Bring your hands to your hips. See if you can get them tucked. And then come up. With those sits bones pointing down at the floor. Take your stretch. Then add the arms. Breathe in. Exhale. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Inhale, back up. Staying right here, maybe come over the knee a little bit more. Twist, right arm behind, left arm forward. Big open heart, back to center. Exhale down. Take another twist, left hand down, right arm up. And then take it back to down dog. Left leg comes through, up between the hands. Back and forth. Really articulate through the ankles and toes. Bring the hands to the hips. Notice the alignment, the tuck of the pelvis, and then add the arms. Inhale, exhale, elbows out to the side, shoulder blades squeeze, inhale, up. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Right hand down, left arm up. Come back to down dog. We're going to come up to the top of the mat. You can bend your knees, look up and hop. You can walk. You can take a few steps up there. Bring yourself up. Bend and straighten a couple of times. Maybe grab your elbows and kind of hang. And then halfway lift, fingers to shins, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Push through your feet and then kind of spring out of that lift up and open. Exhale, release. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. I'm cutting my head off in this picture, sorry. So your alignment, you're checking in with how your body plants itself when it stands. Equal pressure through the feet, softening through your knees. Breathe through the whole torso. Lifting through the top of the head, reach through the fingertips. Inhale, lift. Sweep the arms up, exhale, hands to the heart. Come down to chair. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, airplane arms back. So I'm going to take 5 more of those. You can stay in chair and just do the arms. Inhale up. Exhale back, or you can stand each time. Inhale up, exhale back. You get a little more quad work if you stay down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Breathe in, come up. Exhale, swan dive. Flat back, hinge of those hip sockets. Right foot steps back. Take that stretch right here and then down dog. Inhale up and over. Exhale, lift all the way up to up dog, or you can stay in a low cobra. Back to down dog. Right foot steps up. And left foot steps up. Halfway lift. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands to the heart. So you can do it just that way again. The next few moments we're going to do some sun salutations. Surya Namaskar is really traditional way to practice yoga. I'm going to give you just a few little tidbits to help if you're newer to the practice of yoga. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep down. A more gentle option is to step back, come down to the knee, step back with the other one, come up and over. From here, instead of down dog, we're going to go to a kneeling plank. Lower down, squeeze the elbows, and then lift. Your elbows are still tucking in, and then exhale, push yourself back up onto the knees. We're going to make our way back up. Left foot, right foot, halfway. Exhale, inhale, and release. So same thing, kneeling variety or stepping back. I'll show you one more, a little bit harder. If you want some heart rate going up in yoga, you can do the jumping back version. We're going to jump to that bent elbow chaturanga. So your elbows and your shoulder are even. You're squeezing in right by your ribs. Tuck in like you're trying to hold something right inside there. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Hop back right into that bent elbow pose and lower yourself through to your up dog. Exhale back and then jump up. So if you do a bunch of those hopping back and forth ones, you'll have a more intense practice. If you want, you can do the kneeling one. Exhale down. Step back. Step back. Up and over. Exhale through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Down dog. Left foot comes up. Right foot comes up. Halfway lift. Exhale down. Inhale. Sweep it up. Exhale, take a breath. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Make your way back however you do that. So many varieties. Comes a chair. In chair, your arms can be extended, or they can be down closer to the heart. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. So back to that flow we did earlier, we're going to do like a step back variety. Checking in with any questions. Hi guys. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Step that right foot back. So we're going to have kind of a big wide pyramid to a low lunge. You can come back to that kneeling play that we did earlier. So wide pyramid, even out the hips, up and over to a low lunge, engage that back heel, and back to your wide pyramid. Just stretching through the hip sockets again. Taking that high lunge, lift up airplane arms, tuck the hips, maybe take your hands to your hips, engage that back heel, and then lift up. Come down into that front thigh. If you want a little more challenge, your thigh muscles are going to work harder. Inhale, up. Exhale into that twist. Left arm's going to go back. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Right hand to the floor. Big, high twist in that lunge. And then exhale to the inside of that front leg. Back foot comes around 45 degrees. We're going to take a little down dog arms. Drop your head. And then walking around through a wide straddle. Over to the other side. Right foot can kind of go 45. Bend the right knee. Same thing, down dog arms. You're shifting your weight way back. Get that stretch in the hip sockets. And then come around to the low lunge, not a kneeling lunge, unless you want to go back to that kneeling variety where we came back and forth on the knee. Right here. 2, wide pyramid, and you can hop it in if you want to shift your pyramid and hop back out to your low lunge. Play around with that change from the front of one hip to the back of the other. Should feel it up your hamstring on one side and then your hip flexors on the other side. Coming down to that lunge, shifting to a high lunge, plant your feet, Tuck your pelvis as you come up, sits bones point down, draw in through the belly and the core, lift, open the heart. Big breath. Think about that back heel kind of lifting and engaging, and then take your twist. Inhale, center, and exhale down into your twist with your hand planted, left hand down, right arm up. Release, and walk it around through center one more time. Shake the head out. For a different stretch, pigeon toe your toes in right here. You'll get a nice stretch up the shins, down through the ankle. It's a nice one if you've been biking and running more in this nicer weather. Take your feet back out 45 degrees and drop the hips down, slide it side to side. You can take the hands up if you want a more challenging lunge series. If you feel like that starts to feel unsafe in your hip sockets, keep the hands in play. Back to center, drop the hips even more, getting ready to push up into a deep squat. Hands come to the knees, draw the pelvis in, roll the chest open, maybe change up your feet if they need to, if it doesn't feel supported. Find that posture that works for you. Big breath. We're gonna twist. Rib and shoulder come around together. Left side comes around, open the heart. Feel that stretch and squishiness in your hip socket. Feel it opening up, feeling a little longer. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, back up through center. We're going to tuck the pelvis and lift. Inhale all the way up. Big stretch. Exhale, bend elbows and knees. Inhale, lift, take it up, and look up. Feel your breath. Feel the energy going out through your fingertips and your feet. And then exhale, release all the way back down. Coming around to the front of your mat again. And step your feet together. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep it up. And release arms behind. You can interlace your fingers together. So we're gonna open through the chest. Maybe try to reach your heels of your hands together. Or a reverse prayer. So you're walking your palms of your hands together. You get to decide which one feels good. See if this is the message I needed to answer. So feeling that stretch through your chest and your wrists. Whichever variety you're taking, breathe into it. And release, shake it up. So I'm going to show you a couple ways you can play with a wall while you're at home. We all have walls. They're somehow buried behind furniture sometimes. So you might need to scoot a chair out of the way. So the first one's going to be triangle pose. Coming to the wall. You're going to be about 6 or 8 inches away from the wall with your feet. Depending on how big your booty is, it's how far away from the wall you need to be. So, turning your right foot parallel with the wall, and your left foot's going to step out, just like when we do our warrior poses. About that far. And then open up so that it's like if you were going to lean against the wall and your whole body was even with that wall. And then we're going to slide the right arm in the same direction as the right foot. Stay in that same line of movement. Reach with the ribs. Bring it down by your shin. And then lift your left arm and look up. You can lean into the wall if you feel more safe doing it that way. But try to inch your way away from the wall while still opening your heart up. Feel that stretch right here in your low back, as well as your legs. From here, we're going to go to half moon. It's a very similar openness, same feeling in the hips and the chest and the arms. So bend your front knee, take it up and over. Your hand might come to the floor to steady you, or the wall as you come up, and you lift and explore your half moon. Maybe take your arm away. See where you're at, and then try to lean away from the wall. See if you can hang on to that feeling for a few breaths. See if you can lift your leg up. Maybe get a mirror so you can see, oh look, my leg isn't as far up as I thought. Play around, one more breath there. Then we're going to come down and switch. Take your feet through, point the other way. Open the heart. Shift your hips, slide the left arm forward, and then drop it down. Big breath. Coming into half moon. So your half moon might be out on the floor, up through kind of a half warrior three, and then lift. Maybe touch your foot to the wall, open the heart. Try to create that openness through the front of the body in your half moon. Using your wall a little bit. Steady yourself for life. Practicing at home with the wall can help you explore like where you've been in class. Sometimes in class when we're doing our half moon, I look at the floor because when I'm out on the floor without the wall, I'm a lot more wobbly than when I'm using the wall. So check in with your walls once in a while in your practice at home. So another way to practice inversions is to use the wall to create sort of an L shape with our body. And if you want to see how far out that L shape needs to be, just kind of push yourself into the L shape with your feet and hands. And then you leave your feet where they are. Come around and put your hands there. Walk your feet up the wall, but not too far. You're trying to get that L shape again. Just little practices. Maybe lift one leg. Maybe the other one. Make sure you're not around anything that you're going to fall on and hurt yourself. Maybe get yourself some pillows and cushions and come back to that one later if right now was not a good time. If you're like, what did she just throw at me? Create a space that's safe and maybe move your art off your wall so you don't kick the walls. But that will help you get ready for that feeling of kicking up into that full handstand. Sorry. A little safer. One more time. Plant the hands. Walk the feet up the wall. So a lot of people I see do it this way, and if you're at an angle that's like almost ready to do a push-up, it's a lot harder than lining up your bones. Let your skeleton do the work that it's created to do. All right, come out of that, shake it out. Give yourself a breath, pat on the back. We're trying something hard. Then we're going to come down onto the floor. Actually, let's do some plank work first. A little bit more plank. Right, so we did our fallen star earlier. Go the other way. Big plank. Create a space where your hips can come even with the heels and the head. And then, instead of feeling like you're sinking in your plank, Push away from the floor. Strong through your shoulders. Lift one leg. Switch. Lift the other leg. Shift. Side plank. You can lift your hips up or you can keep them in line. Switch to the other side. Back to center. Down dog. And then we're going to play around with maybe fallen star, or I'll show you an option to try wild thing from a side plank. So come up and over. If you want to play with kneeling side plank, you can. You just bring your knee down and open up. Otherwise, step into that side plank. Lift that top leg up. Bring it back. Keep your left leg straight and open your heart. Come around. Other side. So again, you can do your kneeling side plank. You can still open your heart like wild thing, a little more supported. Or take that option to lift the top leg around and back. Come through center. And plank. 2 more breaths, big breaths. Down dog, relax the head. Do a mindfulness check on your down dog. Last one of practice. Where is it right now? Can your heels reach farther than when you started? Are you pushing away from your hands more? Or are you tired and some of your posture is starting to cheat? Try to find a way to mindfully create your last down dog of practice. And then come into sitting. Right. So a little bow pose. Right onto your sits bones. Lifting the heart. Shoulder blades find neutral. And then open the arms. Walk up to your toes. And see if lifting makes your torso kind of crunch and sag. Or if you can hold this for a few breaths, go there, maybe farther, see where you're at. And then change it up with the legs, maybe bend and straighten, or if your toes are touching, lift one at a time. Create a little play, a little challenge. Come to center. And a little butterfly. And fold if you'd like in your butterfly, or stay upright. Extending the legs long out in front of you. I'm going to come into a twist. I did scoot this over too far, didn't I? Legs go out. Bend the right leg. Create length from your sits bones. Make sure both sits bones are touching. And then we're going to twist either from here, or you can cross that foot over and twist from there. Right arm behind, left arm lifts, inhale, exhale, take a twist. So you're wanting to keep the bones of your core stacked as you twist. A lot of times I see people lean and give up in their twist. So create that skeletal support with your twist. Maybe your arm comes way through and maybe it doesn't, but make sure this is authentic for you. Big breath in through center, open the other side. And switch back through center. Bend that left leg in. Stack the spine tall through the head. Same thing. Both sits bones should be touching. If you bring this foot across and you lose that contact with the floor, then you want to keep the foot inside the leg as you twist. Left arm behind, right arm lifts. Stay tall over the sits bones. Exhale, twist. See if you can take the weight out of the back hand. Coming around through center, exhale, open twist the other way. Big breaths. Checking in with how the body's feeling, the pace, the quality of the breath, how your mind is doing, bringing it back to your practice. Anytime you notice it wandering away, come through center and roll it down, knees to chest. So we're going to rock side to side or make big circles. Extend the legs up, long in front of you, flex and point. And then take it out into a V, holding onto your inner thighs. See if you can get those shoulder blades to relax down on your mat. Breathing in, breathing out, butterfly. Reach the arms overhead, big stretch. Exhale, cactus arms. And then take your feet flat on the mat, knees are bent. Maybe shake your hips out, get them lined up again. Arms come down to your sides. So just a little bridge work. Pushing through the feet, you'll equal the pressure through your hamstrings and your glutes as you lift. Pressing up, squeeze. As you do this pose, keep your gaze forward. Your neck and your head are really soft here. You want the back of your head and your shoulders to be catching you here. Don't push down through your neck. Lift through the chest. Maybe walk your hands together behind your back, or just leave them at your sides and squeeze those glutes and hamstrings as you lift. Slowly release upper body, middle body, lower body down. Squeeze it up again. Challenge point options are with your hands tucked behind you. You can kind of lift and play around with switching your legs, shifting the weight. If your challenge point was doing this at all, enjoy where you're at, challenging your body where it needs to be today. Release, roll it down. Lifting that right leg up, cross ankle over knee. And then just rock it side to side before we come into our figure four stretch. We're going to explore how your hips are feeling. Then come to center, bring that knee in. Shake it out again. This one is a really fun one to do against the wall if you still have some wall space open. Your figure four against the wall looks like this. So it's that same right hip that we were stretching, but now instead of pulling with your arms, your upper body just gets to relax. And as you bring that foot down, keep your hips on the floor. If you bring the foot down and your hips pop up, you're kind of cheating yourself out of the stretch. So leave your hips on the floor, only bring your foot down to where you feel the stretch kick in. And switch. If you're using the wall, stretch up. If not, just take your foot down and bring your left ankle over your right knee. So this is my tight side. This side doesn't respond as well. So as soon as I bring that foot to the wall, I'm done. The other side, I could bring the foot down further, but now I have to lift my hips up on this side. So notice your asymmetry in the body too as you stretch. I can feel like I'm cheating in the figure 4 on the mat, and this one I can't cheat. I know immediately when my stretch is done by using the wall as a guide. If you're on the wall, take it back up, walk the feet down, and then come around into a twist with your feet against the wall. If you're not on the wall, just taking that same twist out on your mat. With the mat variety, you can walk that right leg straight and then bring just the left knee across. Look back to your left. Complete the spiral of the spine as your gaze goes opposite that left knee. Option to extend that left leg out in front of you, creating a hamstring stretch with the twist, or leaving it bent. Stretch the top of the body so that whole left side out long on your mat. You're on your right hip, but your whole left side is opening up, and then come back around the other side. Left leg extends, right knee bends, look back to your right. You can extend the leg, maybe get a good stretch if the wall is there. Feel that length. Maybe take that long stretch through the right side of the body. Back through center and quad stretch. Roll onto your right side. If you have a block or a blanket, you can bring that underneath you. So we're going to lay on our right side. Take your right knee behind you and reach for that right foot. So the more you bring your knee back at a diagonal, your femur bones at a diagonal, that means your tendons, your hip flexors and everything are lengthening even more. If it's even with your hip, you're getting the belly of the quads. So 2 different ways to stretch through this part of the body. Which one feels better for you? I have low back issues sometimes, especially on road trips. And so I counter stretch for the low back in my hip flexors. So I like to get into that nice deep angle with my quad stretch. But if you're a long distance biker or runner, you might want the belly of those quads stretched too. Back through center, come to the other side. So I don't know, I'll try doing this so that you can see the angle of my knee. So I'm going to bring that knee back behind me to get that stretch. If it's even with my hip, so going right out of the hip socket, straight on, that's the big part of your quads. And then if you bring it way back at an angle, then you're getting up higher in the hip socket. So check in with which one you need right now. One more breath in that quad stretch. And then we're going to roll down into Shavasana when you're ready. So coming out of your quad stretch, rolling onto your back, maybe windshield wiper or one more posture that would feel good before you come down into your final relaxation. Opening through the heart, maybe extend the arms and legs. You can have a pillow. You can have a pillow under your knees. stay in your Shavasana if you'd like, or you can join me sitting up in a meditative posture. So there is a mindfulness-based stress reduction technique, a compassion technique for yourself, and it's based on the word RAIN. You might have seen it around if you read about mindfulness. If not, RAIN stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. So for just the next breath, we're going to walk through that. Recognizing right now maybe what state you've been in the last few days. Recognizing how your body feels lately. Recognize something. And then the next step is allow. As soon as you think about any of those things, a story is going to come up. Why it's that way, all of that stuff. Just let it be right where it is without the judgment. Breathe. And then investigate. Then we can start asking questions and getting curious. What was difficult? What was working about the body, about the state of mind lately? Just you, just your awareness. Investigate and then nurture. Creating a space without blame, without harshness, to nurture an answer that works for your highest good. Practiced with the body that you have right now, quarantine and all, love right where you're at, and then you'll be able to connect and love others so much more. Thank you for joining us. I'll be posting a schedule on Apple of the next few yoga practices, and namaste. Have a beautiful weekend. Happy spring.